Hi everyone, this is me Seethal and welcome to Ielts with Seethal. Today's video is related to the Ielts speaking part 2 cue card, and so let's get started. I'll read out the question first. Describe a situation you were not allowed to use your cell phone. And you should say where was it, when was it, why you were not allowed, and what did you want to do with your cell phone. This much you have to say for 2 minutes. Alright, so first I will describe about the story that I'm going to tell. Then it will be much more easier for you to follow the cue card. In the cue card section, all you have to do is to make a story. So my story is like this. First of all, it was my graduation period, and I studied so hard, and my examination was over. After that, I've attended an interview, and only if I have passed in this examination, I'll be get selected in that company. So that was a time when my brother, who was in Canada, invited me to Canada. So I flew to Canada. All this happens in the flight. That is, inside the flight, I received a phone call from one of my friends telling me that my results were out, but unfortunately I couldn't able to look through my results since the air hostess told me to switch off my mobile phones. Obviously, that is, I have to put my phone in airplane mode. Then I'm describing the situations that I have to face in the flight. Then I landed at Toronto airport safely, and as soon as I landed there, I took out my mobile phone and called my friend, and fortunately I was succeeded in my examination and everything went well, and this was my story. Okay, so see how I have used so many rare vocabularies as well as idioms and expressions in my answer. Okay, pay attention to my answer, and you can make use of all these expressions, idioms and everything by writing down all these. Alright. Before reading the sample answer, if you're watching my videos for the first time, please go to the subscribe button and click the icon which is in the right hand corner so that you can get my videos. Okay, I'll cover all the 4 sections: reading, writing, speaking and listening, and like my videos if you are liking. Before going to the answer, let's have a look at some of the vocabularies I've used in the answer. First one is sleek. Sleek means smooth and glossy. This is used to describe a mobile phone. Then to fly means to travel on an airplane. We say to fly means to travel on an airplane. Then results are out. It's a common way to say results are announced, or results are declared, or anything like that. Then the fourth one is walk someone through something. Okay, walk someone through something means it's a phrasal verb to say that, or to instruct someone process in a step-by-step manner. Okay. Then fifth one is a restless. Restless means unable to rest or relax as a result of anxiety. Okay. Then sixth one is intense. Intense meaning extreme, severe or strong. Seventh one is an idiom, that is, could have cut it with a knife, means it's an idiom. It is used to say that something is very strong or intense. Okay, it can be excitement or tension or anything. It is so strong or intense that you could have cut it with a knife. It's an idiom actually, to indicate that something is so strong and intense. Then the eighth one is another expression, to keep a cool head. Its meaning is to stay calm in a difficult situation. To stay calm in a difficult situation. My answer is like this. Life has changed a lot with mobile phones. We are becoming increasingly dependent on these small and sleek devices, which are multifunctional gadgets that help in our day-to-day activities. I can't even imagine living without a mobile phone for at least few hours. A couple of months ago, I had an experience where I had to switch off my mobile phone while I was flying to Canada to visit my brother. I had just finished my graduation at that time, and I was waiting for my final results to come. Since it was my last year, I had prepared well for my examinations. Moreover, only if I've passed in that exam, I would get selected for placement in a company in Canada in which I had attended an online interview. It was during that time my brother invited me to Canada. I was really thrilled to fly alone. It was for the first time I was flying. I found out my seat and made myself comfortable. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was my friend telling me that the results were out and asked me to check it on the university website. I was really tensed about my results. However, due to some network issues, I couldn't see my results. Meanwhile, the flight attendant came and walked me through the rest of my first flight adventure and obviously told me to switch off my electronic gadgets, including my mobile phone. I was feeling restless for all those 14 hours. The tension was so intense that I could have cut it with a knife. I don't know, I somehow managed to keep a cool head. All the stress and tension spoiled the thrill of my first flight. Finally, I reached the Toronto airport where my brother was waiting for me. As soon as we reached home, I first jumped into my mobile phone and called my friend. Thank God, it was unbelievable that I not only got passed but with 85% marks. Anyway, it was an unforgettable journey that I ever had where I realized the importance of a mobile phone. I'll read out the linking phrases and linking words I have used in my answer that adds to my cohesion and coherence. Okay, so in my answer, in the second paragraph, I have started my answer with a couple of months ago. So this incident happened a couple of months ago. And then maybe in the fifth line, I've used moreover instead of and. Okay, I have to add an additional point that only if I have passed in that exam, I'll get selected for placement in a company in Canada. So I am adding an extra information. For that, I use the linking word moreover there. Okay. Then in the next sentence, it was during that time my brother invited me to Canada. Okay, it was during that time. That's another linking phrase in order to connect the next idea. Then suddenly my phone rang. That suddenly is really important. Then, however, due to some network issues, I'm adding an opposite idea so that instead of but, I have used however. However, due to some network issues, I couldn't see my results. Then, meanwhile means at that same time or in between that time, the flight attendant came and walked me through the rest of my first flight adventure. And obviously is another linking word. Then and the last portion of this answer, finally I reached the Toronto airport. Okay, then in the next page, as soon as we reached home, I first jumped into my mobile phone. As soon as we reached home, then I have used another structure of sentence using not only but also. Thank God, it was unbelievable that I not only got passed but with 85% marks. Okay, that's a nice sentence. Then in the last sentence, anyway, it was an unforgettable journey that I ever had, where I realized the importance of a mobile phone. Okay, this seems to be so simple. However, anyway, suddenly, meanwhile, obviously, but it makes a huge difference in your answer. That helps in the flow of your answer, your organization, and everything, which is really important for the cohesion and coherence portion in the cue card. Okay, the examiner is looking for 4 categories on which your marks are analyzed. First one is cohesion and coherence, where you have to use a number of linking words and linking phrases in order to connect ideas. Here I've used that. Secondly, grammatical accuracy is also really important. You have to stick on to the past tense because this incident happened in past. Okay. Then the third category is your lexical resource. Here that includes many rare vocabularies, then idioms, expressions, and everything. Right here, the idiom that I've used is I could have cut it with a knife and to keep a cool head. Okay, the examiner will notice that. Only if you have used such rare vocabularies and idioms and expressions, you will get marks on the lexical resource category. And the last but not the least, the pronunciation. Make your answer as clear as it is, as well as it should be clear to the examiner, and it should be convincing for the examiner. All this comes in the pronunciation part. Okay, so make sure that your answer contains all these 4 categories in order to score a 7 or higher IELTS speaking. Okay. That's all for today, you guys. You can either use this answer or you can write down all these vocabularies I've used so that you can make use of them in your answer. Okay, so let's see in the next video with yet another cue card, you guys. Bye.